dream just to be where you are, in a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me, where you dream just to be where you are, in a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me, where you are.
Welcome to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant, broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, we kick off our Esports Tower Summer Invitational with a hand-picked group of 4 Valorant teams facing off in an extended tournament. The tournament will have a 6 round-robin group stage followed by a 4-team bracket. So let's kick it off with round 1. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Greg Old Soul Smith. It's great to have you with us, Old Soul. And now, this is going to be cool because these teams are hand-curated, if you will, to bring us the top overall in Valorant action. It's an invite-only tournament made up of 4 teams made up of the best players in Esports Tower.
It's always fun to see teams get mixed up or mixed together, really, so I'm excited to see how these teams play with each other well.
Yep, each team was designed to create competitive matches. At least that's what I'm hearing through the horn from Esports Tower. So hopefully it lives up to us. I'm going to have a bone to pick if they're not extremely exciting matches that we can get to see here. All right. So let's see what these players do this week in this tournament. And, you know, I think there's one more thing that we're kind of neglecting here if we want a great event here. As we can see, the Esports Tower Valorant tournament in summer is Barracudas, Vipers, Scorpions, and Lynxes, and I gotta say, I think the one thing that these teams need to keep in mind, if they want to give us the jaw-dropping performances that we were promised, is Doc's Keys to the Game in Valorant. They are brought to us by Esports Tower. No matter what event we're playing, they will never lead you astray. And Doc's Keys to the Game in Valorant are to flank effectively, spend and peek wisely, count cards and call abilities, and of course, click heads. Brought to us by Esports Tower. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Ready to kick off the Summer Invitational with the Barracudas facing off against the Scorpions on Breeze. So Breeze is always a very interesting map. Wide open, Opper's Paradise. You can tell us a little bit more about this map also.
Yeah, no, I think you've struck it right on the head. It is an Opper's Paradise, to be sure. A lot of the default positionings you see are hiding behind the very few and almost scantily clad areas of the map, such as behind the very big towers we see on one side and one of the very large towers in the middle on the other side. Other than that, it really is just a big game of ring around the rosy. So trying to get your econ really snowballed up into a good position is very critical to these maps.
Well, we're ready to hop into the map and see how things turn out. Once again, first round of this summer esports tournament, Barracudas versus Scorpions, and we are off to the races with our choices here. And it looks like pretty standard thus far. In fact, I think we have a mirror match here.
I do like a mirror match. It really accentuates the attack versus defense capabilities of the team themselves and not just of the composition when you see each team playing with the same set of dice, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look and see how it works out. No doubt we can see we have 2 Opper threats. I mean, you have both the jet and you have the chamber. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as we look here, see V Spicy here. One of the team members looks like they're going to be joined by Shadow and Fangzy. They are going to be all on the Scorpions here.
We're seeing a really aggressive hold towards the attacking side here with one lurker trying to hold down the mid, make sure not too much ground goes open. And that's one of the nice things about a really open map is it only takes one person to really watch a mid. In areas like Ascent, it really does take 2 people on the top of mid to hold those different doors. But I think we're going to have one person backing that pretty well. Delete, making the first move in with the dog. Ooh, kind of turns his back to the dog using the Cloudburst to front. It works well for a little bit, but then he goes down to Tracker. Arctic backs it up, and then Tracker goes down to Hidden, and the trades are coming out. It is a quick game so far. Ooh, Atlas plays close and dirty. And Atlas earlier was flexing their beta card. Hopefully they've got some old school skills they're ready to flex. And Fangzy goes down for the final count to give Scorpions a first round of the match.
Yeah, good start for Scorpions, especially when you're considering some of the top-name talent they're going up against with Delete and Hidden. And Hidden's going to be one of the players you're going to want to watch out for throughout this match. The coaches have been telling us that they're the player everyone is expecting to step up and lead that team. So he's shown tremendous growth as a leader since joining Esports Tower. So we'll see his first test be brought out now, you know. Lead the team back from that 1-round deficit and get back in the lead.
Definitely so. Deficits are where I think the IGL really comes into step, trying to keep up morale and not let that snowball fall against them. Delete making those first peeks against the window. He's not going to see anything, so he goes back out this time with the knife. Not punished for it. Atlas is the one he's playing hard to get with here. It's not a lot of action over there, and Delete doesn't need to be loud. He just has to hold down the fort and make sure not too much ground is gained by Arctic here. Here he is. It's not going to happen. He does fend him off and hold the B site because all the action is A as Shadow takes Hidden down. Delete's still just playing with Arctic here. Just a peek left and right. It's a slow game so far, which is good. Barracudas looking to make contact on the Scorpion side of the field on A. Finally, Arctic takes his man down, and Finksy goes down to Shadow here. A is finally getting exciting, and the rotations come out. But B still needs to be head just because they felt that pressure earlier, so it's a slow rotate, and the spike gets down easy. Ooh, it's going to be rough to watch this spot all alone, but he does well so far. Mini takes one down before going down. Scorpions have an easy defuse with 2 left on the field.
That's going to get him even larger ground gained on the Barracudas, but oftentimes we see the pistol rounds be an aberration of the main story, so still a lot left to be played here, especially on a map, you know, with sidelines as huge as this one. What you see happening on the Classics is not what's going to happen later on the Vandals and Ops. It's true, it's true. The Classics definitely have a different feel to them. Sometimes, some teams like to play the pistol rounds just as they would most rounds, and I think that you really should take advantage of the different play style variants that you can have with these different gun rounds. Moving into it, it looks like a very strong mid offense here. And a very typical up-front defense from the Scorpions. The Scorpions might even think about pushing out with this defense. Sure enough, they're going to catch one off guard right around the corner, and it's an easy hit. Tracker looking to make more of it, but they flash him out. He's only barely able to run away with the knife out. He's going to be taken out by Delete. Now it's 3-3. Smoke is going to go up. Ooh. It's going to force V-Spicy to rotate around, but he might be able to get the flank at the right time. But Delete, probably wise to his plan, hears him and takes him out. Arctic pulling off a double there, still keeping the Scorpions in it. Now it's just one jet versus the other jet. Who's going to win this?
He's got to move right in as the plant goes down. His vulnerability is out now. The clock is on Barracuda's terms. E is the one with the down hand. He's got to outplay Delete here, and Delete can just wait for him to, there it is, step into the wrong pace. I love the Barracudas dividing pressure there as they really flashed how important it is to have mid control. When they were able to aggress it right in the beginning, they were able to split up the teams real easy. And just like you said, that flank guard was just unstoppable here because they don't know what they're walking into.
Yeah, it might have just been the round entirely, but Arctic, kind of a pop-off from him, is what kept the Scorpions in it. Now we're going to move on to round 4. Both these teams look like they're going to have the opportunity to full buy, although V-Spicy's still on that Classic. Might be thinking of grabbing an orb than a Tour de Force. He might be one away. Oh, no, we do have a tech pause. Okay, yep. So... okay, that explains it.
I was gonna say, he seems awfully deep in the spawn. It could be less intentional than we hoped for, but that's all right. I like the pacing so far. It looks like we have a good change in positioning. It's always rough to see the exact same default run over and over again on, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I hear that, but if it's not, then it needs to be fixed. So it's good to see them changing up what they can. Hopefully they use this tech pause appropriately to get everybody back on the field and back into it.
Yeah, it's basically a free timeout, so just get a chance to back away from the screen a little bit, take a sip of water. Delete now is going to be ready, but he's got this angle locked down by the other jet here. He's going to throw the dog out. It's going to tell them where the jet is. The dash is just away, has to use it. They hear the audio cue, no doubt. Now they're going to peek around with the white peek and gets mowed down by E. Now they're going to pinch him in from both sides there and use that to claim A, but Shadow also putting up a pretty good defense there. They're not taking A without some sacrifices. They are taking it with 2 down, but they do get the plant on. Tracker evening it up, back to 2-2.
Yeah, Tracker has to move back around. He can't fight this pressure from the front. Doing it from the side with an ally to help him is much more important, but They've got to gang up against one person, just hoping that and nobody will move out of the smoke there. And as their wall goes down, he's got to multitask his angles, maybe even leave his ally to work against the opponent one-on-one. Now just walk around this edge by himself. Tracker trying to hone in on Mini. He thinks he knows where he's at. He's got an excellent bounce on him, but now it's a sprint to the spike. Does he have enough time?
Yeah, they have enough
Looks
time.
like he's good. I loved E waiting and having a great pre-aim for his opponent walking around the corner, but the Barracudas just have a good understanding of pressure and were able to move right in on the side and took a trade from the back excellently. So E did the best he could, but you almost have to be an aggressive defender to deal with this swarming from the outside.
Yep. And that Viper's Pit kind of guaranteed that it would be a 2-on-1 there. It depends on how you play it. You know, you can move in and out of that Viper's Pit to see where you are, but if you just hang out in there, then you're leaving your other teammate all there to go up against two. So they just isolated their confrontations, and they actually had the numbers advantage in the end.
Yeah, counting numbers and isolating those confrontations and isolating angles is very important. Being able to manipulate the field for you. Tracker makes first contact and takes one shot off, but decides not to play up on it too much. It was a little ways out of his range. He's supposed to be watching this, making sure Fengsy doesn't run up on on B site too easily. Here is that dividing pressure the Barracudas love to use, and Tracker caught absolutely off the side. Fengsy caught him in a jump for the knife. V-Spicy playing up this defense. He's, doesn't quite have a good teleport in hand, and Hidden takes him down and keeps moving through now. The Scorpions are between the Barracudas line. Barracudas looking to regroup right on site, maybe drop the spike before he enters, but they're not quick enough. Atlas now putting it down. He's seen, but he's too far away. E takes one through the wall. Atlas is seen again. His flash is going to be absolutely ignored with a good 180. E with the dash ready, decides to push in, takes one, looking to double it up. He has the defense in back though, so he can play a nice bait and switch and then move in for an easy defuse.
Nice job there. That was just textbook what you want to see from Jet, and as a reward for all of that hard work, not only is going to get the defuse, but now the knives are up as well. I gotta say, just also the cosmetics and audio cues are good. You know, when you get that chord progression, you start to get in the zone.
It's always, definitely in the zone is a good thing to keep track of.
You find what sound is most aesthetically pleasing to you and go with that.
Moving on to the 5th round, we've not seen a lot of ultimates, especially from the Scorpion side, so I'd like to see one of those dropped pretty early on if possible. E's looking very aggressive in this stance here, and the Barracudas are looking very aggressive in mid, so we're going to see some contact on the other side of the field if Fengsy decides not to move up. But Fengsy's pacing is immaculate, and he chases E up the corridor as they move into mid. This is just more good understanding of pressure shown by the Barracudas. E, though, catches one off guard and takes Hidden with the knife out, rolls in for another collateral, but goes down pretty quickly. Getting in his 2 is important, though. Mini to stop the rampage and move into A site, looking for the plant now. Everybody's far away, and the Scorpions have already used up that early ult. I was hoping they would, but now they've got to abandon it in order to help kind of quell the pressure on A site. Barracuda's already fanning out to get better angles. V-Spicy's got to walk into it.
Viper going to take the first pick. The Viper wall is going to run out at the time being. Going to rotate around the pyramids. I don't think he realizes, though, that up in those tunnels, there's Fengsy waiting for him. They know he's there, but the high ground advantage is going to take Spicy out. Now it's down to 1v1, and there is no time left. He has to defuse now.
And it looks like they've set up for a good acid bite here.
Yeah, but if he's at full strength, if he's at full health, then that's
true.
Only going to be an ankle nip.
That Fengsy did an excellent job going in for the 1v1, and it's difficult. It's hard to peek on that 2-person, but letting 2 people get to the spike is basically a loss. So good marks on Fengsy for getting in there, but then Mini was just not able to back that up, was not able to get in there and do enough damage.
I mean, Molly lineups are nice, but
it's true.
They also have to be in the right situation,
and
too.
With Fengsy buying so much time, the Molly lineup, you don't need to buy time. You don't need to buy that much time. You just need a little bit more. You just need to get in there, and just a little bit of suppressive fire that makes them stand up is all you need. They're committed to this spike already. Ooh. Looks like another strong push from the mid. It's almost been working for their Barracudas, and they keep pushing it, but they've got to change something. The Scorpions with a beautiful fan all around them could jump right in on the side. I'm worried for them, especially their Jet there.
Arctic and Mini. Both just tentatively waiting for a peek around the angles, but I don't think either is going to show it to the other. Meanwhile, in mid, Barracuda's tentatively making their way up as V Spicy is holding down mid. Actually isn't up there. Is waiting for them to rotate here through B and then try to take him out. Arctic turns around, takes out Delete. That means Mini is going to go and try to take out Arctic here. Arctic isn't looking. Oh, almost had the opportunity from that one bullet fire there, but still, Arctic did do pretty well. I think he took out 2. He's going to force the teleport out there, V Spicy.
Excellently done. Scorpions did well there, just holding and waiting and being available for playing off of contact here. Arctic got a little bit caught off guard when Mini waited right time for the pressure to move up. A good time in the rotation, but they had set up a great crossfire so that they could play off of that contact.
I actually think we have a timeout that's being brought before us right now. So the Barracudas just trying to not let this one get away from them too severely here. Our coach is going to move in, give them a few talking points and advice. And what would you be saying to them at this time?
Well, I mean, honestly, this is a good just time to refresh, look back at the playbook, and try something new. They keep forcing up the middle here, which is almost working, but almost working got them to a 6-1. And this is the time where it's important to turn around and try something new, try to get to that even half, right? A 6-6 is the best thing they can hope for at this point.
Yep, almost working is... it's a nice thought, but it's not what you want in Valorant. Almost working is how you end up with Yoru. Alrighty, now let's move on into the match off of that timeout. And we are going to see if the Scorpions can improve. It's a really good performance by the Scorpions, I got to say. With Barracudas, we've seen their kind of even more top-ranked talent is what I'm saying. We have some newer players in for the Scorpions. And for that, you know, it's just... It's nice to see a team that you would consider the underdog prove such a threat and put the Barracudas on the back foot.
Definitely so. And we know the Barracudas have this great sense of communication. I mean, all their timing is working very well, but I think the Scorpions just outdo them in gunplay. V-Spicy now peeking onto his ally. Not great communication there. It's all right. He's still looking down the hall here. It looks like it's a strong push from Barracudas on A side as we join them there. Delete has been flashed with his wall. His allies are going to move up in that, take that space that they've been given. The shock arrow goes to nothing. Delete now, as the wall goes down, owns so much more space. Starts pushing back onto Shadow. If he can move quick enough, there it is. Fangsy takes Delete from the side. Just great control of the space here. Barracudas have a really, really good chance at locking in this round as long as they don't let Arctic do anything wild. So Delete's taking a really default position, just trying to keep Tracker at bay. The win con is not to kill him, it's to waste time, and he's doing an excellent job. Just assailing him with utility, not letting him show his face.
And
Tracker then
just
retreats.
going to retreat to save.
A good call. Delete, hungry for more. Maybe just to get out of the spike zone himself, decides to play in a little bit after and check the typical angles.
That's
No
going to be
outros.
it. A thrifty for the Barracudas. And not only that, you saw that Jet. That Jet picked up an op, too. So that's like the thriftiest of thrifties.
Yeah. Really is excellently done, Barracudas. I think they moved quick enough that the Scorpions did not have time to get in there, which they kept trying in mid, but they were swarmed too easily. Being able to flush right in on A gave them enough time, and here they are going to do it again. I love the rinse and repeat attitude that the Barracudas have, but keeping always something in the pocket is important.
All right, as we move forward just a little more now, wall's going to go up across A.
Which is good. Duelist acting nice and slow, trying to get their controller and initiator up. This initiator using their utility to make way for the duelist is important. Delete now has been given some space that he can move in on, but that recon dart keeping him at bay. He's going to try to check these corners. Still, so much utility assailing. The Scorpions are dumping so much utility for only having 2 people here. I'm worried that they don't want a push in. They're trying to buy time and let someone get around. They've cleaned out B, and they're letting it go to the wind as they try to walk into mid, and there goes their effort, all their efforts to try to sneak someone up in the back here and pinch them in the choke point has gone awry as they watch their flank guard very well. So now the Scorpions buying time is not really helping them, and all the Barracudas are on site, and only half the Scorpions are even close.
Again, that off proven very crucial for the Barracudas. Spicy has to be careful about what angle he peeks. There go the Seekers out from the Barracudas. Just going to buy them even more time. Give them...
Yep, buying time is the name of the game here. They've already dumped 2 ults into making sure no one gets to them. Scorpions have regrouped, though, and they're closing in on this. They decide to jump on all at once. Tracker is going crazy, takes 2 down, looking for more. Arctic gets on the defuse, and they're taking care of Mini. That's it. Scorpions take a 7th round, despite 2 ults.
Yeah, despite 2 ults. Well, I think that's just in general, you know, you see the players, Arctic and Tracker, really do have some stabilizing power, if you will. They really, if it looks like the Scorpions are kind of out of it or out of that round, they can usually pull off a quick single or double and even things right back up.
Looks like the Scorpions are going to change their posture just a little bit. Watching more of the sights and less of the mid-ground. Might be a rough gamble as the Barracudas are looking to pose a large fan. Maybe just most of their people through mid.
Let's play.
V-Spicy setting up his space with the teleports. And out comes the tour de force from the Barracuda side. Barracudas own this mid territory and they're not budging on it. 3 people on B. They hear the retort from the from Fengzi's gun. There it is, taking Shadow and E. And those are the rotations we need. Barracuda's moving right on into A site. A full arsenal just ready to plant. All utility out and defensive. Scorpions are still not moving. Tracker finally gets the call to move through CT side. Let's see if the Scorpions decide to wait for him or push right in. They're low on time, but they're low on men as well. Tracker arriving at the scene, takes 1. Fengzi does take 1 before he can, though, so it's a 2v4 here. Tracker dumping his utility just to try to make space, just try to get up to the spike, but he doesn't check all his angles while doing it, and Delete takes him out. Arctic is able to fight back, but it's not enough, and the Scorpions go down, giving Barracudas the 3rd point.
Now at least a 3 for the Barracudas. Nice attempt there. Looks like he got a few bits of damage against their jet, but just quite wasn't enough. And like you said, didn't check all their angles there. And that's going to be the first timeout brought by the Scorpions.
Do we know if this is a tech pause or attack pause?
Timeout.
Excellent. The Scorpions taking a timeout is interesting because they're already so far ahead. Do you think that they're just looking to absolutely crush this and run all the way home with it?
Yeah, I think they are. Well, you're given the timeouts, you should use them anyway here. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. Time for a timeout since I think about it, we're just 2 rounds from the half. So the best, I mean, there's still a difference between a 9-3 and a 7-5.
That's very true. That's true. And if they want to use this, really dump all of their econ, all their utility, all their ults at the last second, being strategic in how they use it will make sure they actually get all of the efficiency
that just
out of
might
that.
Want it to be a problem that the coach wanted to rectify very sooner rather than later.
That's true. Hopping on that ahead of time is important. Let's see what the Scorpions pull out of the pocket now that they've had that timeout, and what the Barracudas can do to try to fight against it, getting themselves up to that 7-5 they're hoping for. Because that's just 1 point off from an even half, right? If you have a good if you have a good pistol round and bonus after that, you could be back up to even pretty quickly. This is not out for the Barracudas by no means. But speaking of out from the Barracudas, E takes Hidden, and Atlas and Delete come in after for it. It is a quick start to a round, and Minnie and her Sky with the spike send in a dog to find an open territory and decide not to play into it. Begin rotating around. Delete does take Arctic, though. Looks like they've got lots of space on B, and Delete gets aggressive with the defense, holding up at a bit of a side angle, hoping someone will play into it.
Has to have the right angle here because Arctic, it looks like, took 135 away from him.
That's true. Yeah, he's got to play very, very defensively here. Finally gets in the heal from Sky. There. Very nice, and catches him incredibly off guard. That is great, and the space they take is huge now. Whoever rotated from CT has kind of cleared out that area. Sure enough, they're not worried about it and turned back to it entirely. Scorpions only have one player left, and he is dealing with his own battles here in mid. There he goes. Fengsy taking Shadow down, puts Barracudas ahead to the 4th point.
Now just one more opportunity for the Scorpions. They're going to have the slight ult advantage here for this last round for halftime.
Last round before the half, there's 3 ults in the bank, and sure some close to charge. Delete with the op. Interesting. If you've got the knives, I probably would have sent the op to someone else, but that's all fine. Let's see how they decide to use it. Pushing right in, letting that initiator get a little bit of contact before they do so. Just watching a typical angle. Sending the dog out and using it as a great bait and switch distraction to take E with a single shot, switching the knives and moving right up in. The intensity is high. This wall they love to use. Oh, but Delete uses it as a fake wall, jumps right over it and adds extra pressure to that. Decides to play very aggressive, hoping to get some shots off. Is actually pinged and suppressed. He's got to move back into the ranks of his fellow Barracudas, who now do not have a wall to help them. They've got a good plant down, though. All they need to do is buy time. That wall goes back up. The knives are back out. But Tracker and V-Spicy are meticulously just taking him down one at a time. It's a 3v2. And that ult is still out, making it difficult to put any defensive utility up. But there he goes. Delete dealing close angle now. They've got the op up against him. It's a good thing Atlas comes around to help him, but he goes down. Now he's got to face off against Shadow, and the timing was almost off, but he takes him. It's a clutch, and Delete with a 3K goes down to his own spike.
And now the whole round is basically reset depending on how the next pistol rounds go.
That's very true.
What an insane performance there. And I like the tentative switch in between the op and the classic depending on the situation. Can be easy when you just have your main gun to forget the second one exists.
Yes, very intense. Good to know that, especially when you're dealing with guns like the op, pressing 2 is a lot faster than trying to press R. Barracudas and the Scorpions now switch sides. We're looking at a 7-5, and as we've mentioned earlier, the Barracudas can take a good pistol round and kind of start bonusing it up. Bonus both in guns and in credits. They may come out on top in the next 2 or 3 rounds. But the walls go down, and the Scorpions are pushing hard on B. 2 tight defenders looking them in the eyes. They've already got some smokes out. And the dog down, pushing for a little bit of a rotation, though. They're not entirely committed, and they can't be. Delete puts up a good cloud burst and decides to back off from it. A wall divides mid, making it a little bit harder for the Scorpions to push on through. But they're not worried. They're sending one flank around. Only tentatively, though. He's not sure where he's going. It looks like they're still considering a mid push, trying to feel out what the Barracudas are giving them. The Barracudas are only barely rotating back and forth between A and B, though they don't know how to feel about this either. It's a very reaching out, touching the gloves, kind of testing the distance of the other team here as they've switched sides. Not a lot of movement from either side. That wall's going to go down pretty soon, though, and Barracudas will have a good vision into the site.
Waiting for the wall to go down. Scorpions taking the same route that sort of plagued the Barracudas so much, trying to make mid successful. Now they're going to rotate out through towards A. Hidden already taking one of them out with the frenzy. They're going to move in to get the spike, though.
30 seconds left.
Ooh, Delete hoping for something interesting. Just can't quite place his shot, and only at the last chance does he get a hit, but he goes down. Fengsy done well to take Shadow, and Tracker replying onto Fengsy. Arctic follows it up on a Hidden. Now there's a 2v2, and the spike is already down, and they're strewn across the map. The rotations were not quick enough. Scorpions are already backing up and looking for a bonus maybe looking to take some people out as Atlas and Mini move right in, though. They're not going to find anyone out in mid or on tunnels. A little bit of last chance utility coming out as the defuse is down, but the spike diffuser is killed. Mini now on the hunt for the last player, but even if he takes Arctic down, he can't win. Arctic's win con is to retreat entirely, and he plays it well.
He shouldn't be taking this. Risky situation there. Yeah,
Arctic.
he could have. He had the opportunity there to So maybe just go up into tube or just any sort of escape route there if they'd been paying attention to how fast that spike was beeping.
Yeah, and if you consider that, if he's already sure that he's going to take the round, now we're in outro territory, really, extended outro territory, where is it worth the 300 credits? Is it worth losing
again,
your
you
gun?
know, it's not like it's going to be in a few rounds from now where, you know, you're thinking, oh, they'll drop a Vandal. You know, that's another 20.
That's
it's
true.
300 credits.
It's 300 credits. That's all you're looking at is whatever credits your bonus from taking a kill. Arctic now moving in, aggressive. These controllers leading the pack with the spike from the most vulnerable angle stresses me out just a little bit, but I do like that they decide to wait, hold off just a little bit for their initiator to fight from the side. And wow, what a bait and switch. Delete takes one barely before going down to E. A Marshall from a distance. The wall goes up, and this time a little bit steeper, so they don't have to worry about that back corner. However, they are giving up that space, so he gets in and turns his back to it. More of the attackers watching that back, though. Done well, and the Toxin's low. He's got to retreat to let that wall go down. Now that space is owned by the Barracudas. He's got to just watch from the corner.
Oh my goodness, that is not the gun you want to have. He has to get up very close to them. He's getting dinked. But
wow.
Only gets one shot there. Wasn't able to follow through, though.
Yep. No, Marshall definitely had the advantage there, and now Atlas still in the same bad position, just can't get up to the spike. Excellently played by the Scorpions there.
Where do you think he was trying to use that shorty? Because if there's any stage that's not going to be too friendly to a shorty, it's going to be Breeze.
That's true.
So he must have been thinking of some sort of very specific engagement.
And I'm sure that as a defender, you're on a place. Maybe he was, close in the corner on B site and was really hoping for that shorty to do something cheeky and wasn't considering about later into the round. And I think for that reason, late into either half, you can use a shorty really effectively by having it as a backup weapon or beginning with it and then switching to your alternate. But going into the second round on a half with only a shorty in hand means you're confident in the position you're going to be holding for that round, and he just wasn't. A little bit of vision denial would have gone a long way with that one, but instead it was just Marshall against. Ooh, now Mini taking one real quick, going down to Arctic with a few hits, a lot of contact there. All the Barracudas are really just trying to rotate in all at once from different angles. It's not good isolation for them. The Scorpions doing well here, getting a plant in the smoke already. They're looking good, all banded together, and V-Spicy's already posted up with his teleports.
Yeah,
Headhunter out.
Pretty aggressive by the Barracudas, actually. We consider that they've lost the last two rounds. This is the third round of the next half, and they've already gone in for a full buy, so this is like an all-in thing. They're going to have no credits if they lose this and just barely win it there.
Yeah, barely indeed. V-Spicy. The Headhunter finds her mark only once, and going up against with the Marshall, fires off only one shot before falling as the fourth man to V-Spicy. V-Spicy almost taking an ace that round.
Yeah, it would most definitely had to have been a save round had this not gone. He just swapped over at the wrong moment there. I think if he had the Classic or his Headhunter, he would have been able to take him out.
Would have been able to play against Hidden. And it was Hidden that almost had an ace, sorry.
Now we're to 9-6. 3 rounds separating. Scorpions spreading out pretty evenly here.
Yeah, Scorpions are looking to change the posture a little bit, and this alludes to maybe a little bit slower handle. Looking to try to get up on Hidden a little bit earlier. They're kind of finished trying to pace out that A, but they have given it away. Things he knows that he's able to move up because that Viper Wall never came out. Defensive Viper Wall now dividing mid goes down.
Trades for 3 before he's eliminated by Shadow.
Impressive. Yeah, those are the only hits onto the Scorpions team.
Not a worthy trade there. Now V-Spicy's going to try to rotate in, try to put some pressure on Hidden, but Hidden throws out. Is Util.
It's not quite there,
but
also
backed up by Viper.
Looks like the Scorpions are moving in on the other side. He just doesn't respect that pressure from the front. Hidden is still worried about mid, and there's no one there. He is dumping his utility. Pearls before Swine. The last two players of the Scorpions have moved up on B, made a little bit of attempt. Didn't really like how it felt, decided to back off, and are re-hitting it here in a second. Just trying to give it enough time to time this rotation out. And it looks like it's worked. Hidden from the Barracuda side is deep into the CT side. The timing has run out. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock, and they decide to push. Hidden is back watching that side. They've got to play a dangerous 50-50 here. Ooh, they don't check it quite well enough. One runs into the other. Mini, excellently played.
I don't know if it was because I think they had it in their mind to check that corner, so I don't know if maybe his teammate just miscorrectly said corner's clear or something like that.
It looks like it was almost a check. It looks like they cleared some of it and then tripped over each other, and Mini was just too quick with the utility and got them all cornered into themselves. Look, they checked this way.
Yes.
It's a double take. He tries to run. Excellently played by Mini there, holding the ground well.
You gotta check the whole corner. Just at the last minute, I thought they had a chance there, but unfortunately for the Scorpions, Barracudas proven to be pretty steadfast when they're on defense.
Scorpions have the chance to play something a little bit dangerous here. They're playing strong together and fast right through the tube here, never looking back. I like that, especially with such a gap in the back of the Barracudas defense, considering how up front the Barracudas have been defending. This gives a chance for a full team flank very well. Looks like the Barracudas can taste it, though, and they start to move back. Let's hope V-Spicy's watching this angle. The flash comes out, but it's too slow. Wow, Delete takes both of them.
Too slow for one, but for everyone else, it hit him. And then Delete just goes in there, takes out 3. Mini with the 4th.
And Delete looking to close it up. No, Mini takes the last one as well, and the Barracudas with a clean no to the Scorpions' attempt at a push down tube.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing that the Barracudas really I can see their 3 were blinded out of the 4. So I think we can see the side that they might have been favoring is the defense side. And if that's the case, if all along they were saying, okay, we're going to be really good at defense, then the question is how big of a lead can the Scorpions run up when they're in the favored position defense? And they only got a 7-5. So I would say going forward, even though Scorpions are still ahead by 1, I would give the advantage to the Barracudas.
Yeah, but the Scorpions, you have to consider, though, morale as well as momentum as well as credits. Obviously, a lot of this switches at the half, but the Scorpions are still on top, and that changes a little bit about the game.
I mean, they're on top in one regard, yes, but, well, and maybe in another right now. It's Evie with the knife taking out Atlas. Another Mo with the Phantom. It's going to put the Barracudas on the back foot now, and keeping it at 10-8 would be huge for the Scorpions right now. Arctic is just waiting there. He's going to move around, see if there's any kind of off angles, any type of pinch. Right now they're going to keep Mini out of it. That's a huge pick. Brings out the knives. Franzy making a move here. Throws them all out, but it's onto Hidden, who has full health and just eats them all up. Franzy still hanging in there with 3. He doesn't have the health to defuse, so it's all going to be up to Hidden. Makes him stand up and just barely winning that.
I think where the Barracudas fell there actually was, I want to discuss the idea of a dry peak and its implications on peaking in general. Your only other option to a dry peak is using some utility or someone somewhere else to peak, which if you're a duelist, you don't have a lot of great entry utility. Maybe you're going to try to enter with a Cloud Burst, or you're going to dry peak, but you got the get out of jail free card that Jet does. But the Jet that last turn didn't use either of those and ended up peeking onto 3 people the same way they have before, the same way our shotgun did earlier. And this angle right here that they've just walled off every turn has been dangerous for the Barracudas.
So this is a great start for their engagement here. Gonna suppress everybody there and take out Atlas. Yeah, much harder angle to hold if you don't have a Hawk that can peek out and do the work for you.
Tracker got a little bit too confident moving right up through the middle and multitasking those angles. Hidden decides to flash right in and takes an easy one, and that's the most important one to take in a pit, is able to respond to the walls of the pit dropping quickly and goes right into the defuse, but there's too many people on the field. He can't go straight in for the defuse. Try to clear out the space a little bit more and instead gets to just watch the spike go down. He's got one person watching E, making sure he can't get up on that space. The win con is to keep him at bay, and Delete does well, taking him all the way down, and the Barracudas take an easy defuse for Mini.
Gets to pick up the op, put a big crimp in the Scorpions' momentum.
Indeed, yeah. A 10-9 now, close enough to almost not matter.
Need a drop.
But we're close enough to the end of the game that just 2 mistakes in the bank for Barracudas to remain.
Yeah, they don't want it to go to 12 and put them on the back foot for the rest of the fight. In terms of ults that we have saved up, we've got the Seekers and we also got knives available. Hunter's Fury and Tour de Force actually is already going to be used by Scorpion, so that's going to be in play. Throw out the dart. They're just going to get rid of it before it gets a ping.
Scorpions with a very rinse and repeat attitude on this map. I'm surprised the Barracudas haven't taken extreme advantage of that. In fact, we already see several people on the B side maybe trying to respond to that Tour de Force coming out, but it's not going to happen. It's a huge bait to Delete with an aggressive peek.
Wow.
Only finds one before going down. Don't dry peek that angle. A couple of trades are made, and now it's a 3v3, and the 3 of the Barracudas are strewn across the map. They're trying to make it back, but the Scorpions already have a free plant and lots of utility to back it up. In fact, they're able to hold aggressive on this and may even take that Tour de Force out easy. Hopefully
yeah, and Spicy isn't necessarily... Okay, now he's paying attention to Cave there. I was worrying for just a bit there. It seemed no one was watching Hidden, though, going for this flank. He is going to be able to suppress. Can Spicy get him? No. And I think that was actually a very crucial suppress there because Spicy was relying on the Tour de Force, but the Tour de Force technically counts as an ultimate, and that can be suppressed, and he was left only with a classic.
Yeah, that's a rough one. He was not in a bad position to use the classic, but a Phantom walk-in sideways, great spray and pray run and gun, still outdoes a Phantom. Let's see this one more time. A beautiful suppression. Yeah, absolutely puts away the Tour de Force. A great flash, and even with a good 180 from V Spicy, it's just not quite enough, and he's caught off guard. There's a lot of pressure coming around from the sides, though, as well. V Spicy wasn't in a great position there, but it's all right. Speaking of great positions, we're at a 10-10 with several ults in the field. Looks like Scorpions are looking to change the pace a little bit as they move up B with no flanking. They're going to send one long, maybe feel out a little bit. Always good to have the initiative to make first contact.
Yeah, but now finally the Barracuda strategy of keeping a lot of people on B looks to have paid off. Going to throw the molly out there. Just try to stop them through and picks them up through the archway. They just walked right through that, the Scorpions.
Wow, Hidden with a dastardly beat there.
They're going to go aggressive here. Also on this pinch off from the side from E, Arctic is able to pick up a triple.
Excellently done, Arctic. Oh, V Spicy
Might
caught a little
have
off
to-
guard from Delete.
Might have to make it a quad here. The line needs to take out Delete. Delete dashes away, and those Seekers aren't helping his field of view any.
Really, they weren't. Just too much screen time, and Arctic goes
If
down.
anything, that's kind of a... I guess if you're in a small enough choke point, they can almost act like shields
They
in a
really
way.
can. Yeah, that's interesting.
I never thought of the Seekers that way, but I guess so. In that situation, they were kind of like little shields that were just in front of Delete.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen Seekers used defensively before, but that's interesting. And goodness, just the gall of Hidden here, I believe, to dry peek on that wall and take one out and move right back away. Arctic, though, excellently plays up their 3.
Now Barracuda's just 2 away from their victory. Despite a lot of fighting from the Scorpions, they just really haven't found the magic during attack. Only winning a few rounds here and there.
Ooh. Scorpions not off to a great start, trying to push this effective overtime. Already losing one person, and the flank is looking strong if the Barracudas can be quick with it. Looks like knives are out, and they're already going to rotate full. Scorpions, though, are able to get the plant down now in a post-plant scenario. Having 3 people coming from different directions is sometimes helpful and sometimes not. Look at them all ganged up in one corner. Talk about crossfire. Let's see if Delete can break this absolute wall of Scorpions here. A good time to initiate the dash. He starts to see that bun and doesn't reply. Both of them had great single-shot kills, but E was quicker with it. Now it's to Fingsy and Atlas. They're each going to take one down. Their presence is known. Ooh, going for the wall bang. Gets a lot of shot off, but it's not quite enough. He has to play aggressive to get to the spike. He takes one, sees the other, but it's not enough, and Shadow takes down Fingsy to give it an 11-11, the effective overtime.
Oh, Scorpions Not wanting to be counted out here. What a rally there from Fancy and Atlas. They were facing a 2-4. And then a 1-2 here against Fancy. Since you said, Old Soul, that it's an effective overtime, we actually are going to see a timeout be brought out from the Scorpions here.
That is good. I know it's been a game late at night where I'm just tired of loss, win, just rolling on into the deeps of the overtime. It's good to just get it out before the announcer ever says overtime. So we are at an 11-11, and I call it an effective overtime because you still got to win by 2 to bring it home. So if they take 1 and get to 12 and then lose 1, they're into the same kind of deuce situation that they've been looking at.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're not getting rolled, but at the same time, there's also a frustration to a win-loss, 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 and it's like you're making it feels like you're making a lot of progress and no progress at the same time.
But Valorant is an in for a penny, in for a pound game, so they will have to put it all out now to prevent themselves from withdrawing later on. Scorpions now looking as they did earlier in the game, but very nice and slow. In fact, this may even be a tech pause of some sort. Ours in the chat letting us know. Biphase walls about to go down, hopefully. The Scorpions poised up for 1, looking into B. Not going to make too much pressure. Wow, actually, they are dumping economy here, trying to get some kind of pull over from the Barracudas. It's not going to happen. Fangzy is able to pull 1E from the list. Scorpions now have to respond to that. Decides to play out of A, maybe more towards mid or even B. The response the Hidden was finding earlier, conducive to a push maybe closer to B. Tracker moving right in. Ooh, sees one jump peek but can't follow it up quick enough. Decides to play further in. It's a good thing Atlas wasn't peeking. It's a good bait and switch. Finds one, decides to play up and finds another. Tracker going aggressive here. Knows where the last one is. Oh, just can't quite find it, but the Arctic still gets a plant in. And the ult is out. A great time to use it. Hidden just spray and pray. Hoping for some kind of contact there. But he's not even a distraction.
He's just... It's way too much. That is a great blind, though, onto V Spicy. Still finds himself not taking out the crucial Viper. That was Arctic. Fancy's going to do that. Yeah, now the Barracudas put themselves in match point.
The pop flash is just one of the strongest pieces of Hidden's arsenal there. Now, Barracudas, can they finish out this game and move along in the bracket, or will Scorpions pull it to an official overtime?
Certainly would be a kind of a fitting start for a tournament that brings all the top teams together for it to go 12-12 overtime.
It would indeed. Yeah. Do you think we got the exciting match that you were hoping for?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think one thing that's really helped the Scorpions is kind of how much their team has played together. Arctic, E, Tracker, and Spicy have played a lot together in past Esports Tower Rumbles. Familiar with each other's play style, so that's always something to be spoken of for an advantage there. And a bit of some sniping trades back and forth between the two teams make it 0-0. They're going to have to play well together now. Arctic gets the plant. Can they hold on to the point right now? Hidden is just waiting for that peak. But that Viper wall is going to buy a bit of defense now for the Scorpions. Forcing the Barracudas to move in is going to throw the flash. Misses that up, unfortunately. Lucky for him, Delete was able to bail him out, so he's still going to live here.
Yeah, but he's not in a great position. And after that self-flash, he went in for a second one because the wall was down and had to just run into some kind of cover.
Oh, boy.
Caught in a rough position. The Scorpions were able to take him again. Just defense keeps peeking that angle, and they shouldn't need to. There's other angles to go for. And if you're looking for a flash and overwhelm like he was hoping for here, then don't play long, play short. Flash right in the middle of them, get all up in their face, and just muzzleberry a bunch of people running around like chickens with their heads cut off. But instead, he puts himself in a compromising position.
Alrighty, it has happened. We are indeed in overtime. Deuce rules apply here. Win one, get the advantage, win on the advantage, and win the whole thing.
However, they are switching back and forth between attack and defense, and that can be a tricky one with teams that are both very attack-oriented. However, I don't think we saw that today, so hopefully they can find the strategies and they can find the positions and the placement they need to really just take 2 rounds in a row and send them on without too much exhaustion. It looks like it's an aggressive defense from V-Spicy here, trying to wrap around back and to hold into this B, but there's not. It's an empty hold as all of the Barracudas are looking into the A site here. Barracudas with the same wall, push right in. Oh, almost get that plant down. Picking it back up and looking for another plant. Mini is going to be the one to make it happen. Hidden does take Shadow. Spike gets planted. Now V-Spicy looking to walk around, hopefully. Watching him this time will pay off.
Yeah, they doesn't look like they still hear him, but risky to tip them off there. I don't know why you would pull out the knife there.
I wouldn't have. Now he has a chance on the Mini. He knows he's there because he saw the gunfire. He's able to take a second one. He knows the last is. He gets enough damage that it matters. Now, Delete is playing a downhill game. There it is. Tracker gets an easy one, and it's a defuse to push him back up. Now, Barracudas took the first 12. Now, Scorpions are taking the first 13.
Yeah, but that's one thing that I want to see it right there, you know, the quick change between the guns and the knives. You know, you kind of see that's just a tick. You know, Greg right now is holding a marker in his hands right now and is flipping it back and forth, fiddling with it, you know, like all students do. You know, we all develop those little fiddling things, you know, to help keep our brains engaged throughout the whole thing. But here you want to kind of try to avoid habits like that right now, because no matter how cool it looks, if you pull out that knife at the wrong time, you can let them get an idea of where you are. Sound is so important, so you just want to be sticking on your gun.
Just for ages of CSGO play, flicking the knife is a dangerous idiosyncrasy to get yourself into. Ooh, Shadow does take one from a distance there. Tracker looking to do the same, but goes down quick to Delete, and Hidden to follow it up. E is able to return, but Mini and Delete are looking to get on the field and fight that back. The rotation is finished. Barracuda's a little bit quick on those rotations early on. Maybe could slow their front ranks down. They're already in a post-plant situation. No reason to try to foot in all at once. Delete takes E, but tries to take one more, but no.
Head back to a tie here.
Yep, he just can't teleport further into the map. That's a little scary there. So they tried to take him once, and he was able to TP away, but chasing down the TP is just almost as good as chasing down the run it back.
It was just a rough situation. You can see E only had one shot, gave only one shot. Then at this point, they planned to try to put the pressure on V-Spicy. Just seemed to be caught up there. Might have actually, he should have recognized that his teleporter was down, but the way he was standing, it almost looked like he thought it was still up.
Now we're into double overtime, and the positioning has changed. I like that Barracuda's looking for a stronger fan here, but in order for this to be effective, they can't go marching in on A, so they try to make some contact further in. Fengsy does well with that, taking off Tracker, and already gets one person off of the A site. That's the push. They move right in. Oh, the dash doesn't go very far, but if they can just take E, E goes off site. This is their chance to at least get a plant out. There goes Atlas with it. The wall is so much deeper now. They own so much space, but as soon as this goes down, 3 or 4 entry points go live. Luckily, those doors aren't open, and they're strong in mid because they already have Fengsy watching it, so they can all funnel to this back spot just watching V-Spicy. V-Spicy does take one out, though. They have to respect his gunplay capabilities, and the win con is on spending time. A 3v4 is not the win here. Delete plays dangerous anyways and takes one out, moves right around and times it well with a second. He gets hungry for a third, but it's not there, and V-Spicy takes the second one. Starts moving up on the spike, but his odds are very, very low. And he's taken from the back from Fengsy. Barracudas, the first 14. It's just such a back and forth.
Switching sides. Match point.
But now Barracudas, okay, Barracudas won their last round as defense on overtime.
It's true.
So now they've won this round, so this is the first time they've had the advantage. So if they just perform the same way that they did last time, working defense, they should win this. But
yeah, Barracudas took the first 12 and the 14, but Scorpions took the first 13. So you're right. If they can just run it back, do it all the same, it looks like it's a strong B push. And wow, Barracudas are comfortable pushing in on this B as well. Is there something we missed in chat? Look at this 4-on-5 so fast. E takes delete, and it is a close game. Tracker's got to retreat, and Hidden almost had a chance to make so much contact there, but he throws it away. E and Tracker have met back up, and the whole team's moving across mid into the A side, which is entirely empty. Hopefully the Barracudas can get there in time. But they're not making note of the silence. Scorpion sneaking right across, so tragically low health. Making it onto A side, and the rotation starts to come out. Barracudas now have got a little bit of space there. Fengsy flashes it, is able to take 2 out before going down to E with 2 assists on the board. A lot of damage been spent. Tracker makes contact with Mini. They're both kind of kept at bay here, not able to help out their teammates.
Really not 3-3 because Tracker and E are so low on health and don't have any healing. So now it's 2-on-1 and
only barely.
Yeah, just barely counting as a 1.
Yeah, his play here is to back way up, but Hidden already makes that knife out. He knows he's off the site.
You could pull out the dog here, hit him with it, and it would
Oh,
work.
yeah.
In fact, go for that. Win through the dog. I like that play.
I like that.
I like that statement.
He's at least using a little bit of utility here. It's not entirely dry peak, but now he knows it's a 1v1. He can't go in for that defuse until he takes care of Shadow.
That's going to be it.
And that's it for the Barracudas. Excellently played.
Now, also got to hand it to two teams.
Overtime.
Nice job keeping it interesting going into overtime, but not overkill on the overtime. You know, a few rounds in overtime it's like a little bit of spice on top of your dinner. You know what I mean? It's nice and spicy for the first few bites, but if you keep shoveling it in your mouth, you're going to destroy your taste buds. All right, Barracudas win that one and are going to start off this Summer Rumble very nicely. Nice job to them and this team. And you know, Greg, going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. You can see how talented Esports Tower players are because Esports Tower takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Shout out to Coach Halter, and for those of you who are watching who haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's a fast track to rank up. So now we've seen 2 of the teams that are going to be in this tournament compete, Barracudas and Scorpions. But like I said, 4 teams are competing in this special invitation-only event. The other teams, Vipers and Lynx, have yet to be seen, and we'll take our first look at them right after this break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant, broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, where we are showcasing an Esports Tower Summer Invitational Week 1. We started off with a crazy finish between the Barracudas and the Scorpions. So how will the Lynx and Vipers play in their first game of the summer series? We're going to find out. Both us, your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Greg Olsol Smith, calling all of the action for you today on desk. And we have no doubt got a great match going up between the Vipers and the Lynxes. But before we get to that, we want to take a moment to congratulate all the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have earned over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. And overall, if you want to try to get those scholarships, you not only have to do well academically, but play well. And what better tips for that than Doc's keys to the game in Valorant to flank effectively, spend and peek wisely, count cards, call abilities, and of course, click heads. Doc's Keys to the Game brought to you us by esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, who will come out on top between the Lynx and the Vipers? These are the other two teams that we mentioned at the beginning. So this first day of the Summer Rumble will just kind of give us kind of just an overview of what each general team brings to the table. And already in what we saw with Barracudas versus Scorpions, those two teams prove that they have what it takes to go up against each other. What do you think of this match?
I'm looking forward to it. And we know that what decided these teams were the same metric that decided the last two teams, so I'm hoping that we see a nice, tight game just like we did last turn.
Hopefully we can. We're going to see it, and they can't complain that the situation was too different. Like, oh, they picked the worst map to showcase us on, because we're just going to the same map, Breeze. So it's everyone on the same play field, has the same circumstances. We're going to see how they do here. Vipers versus Lynx. Let's get into it, see what the picks are. If there is any difference between them in what they choose, what they're comfortable with playing. All right, we can see things going in here. And,
wow,
ooh, bringing out the neon.
I do like bringing out the neon. That's the first big change we're going to see. We're also going to see that they've decided to name their players Milkies and Milk. So we're going to have to watch out for that one. Having a mirror match is interesting because we can see, just last turn, how these different teams decide to play and just carry themselves regardless of what the composition is like. But now, a new two teams on the same map, we get to see how that composition changes a play style. So I think this is a good, expose for Breeze.
We're ready to move in here. Very crucial also is what we see on the Vipers. I mean, we see with the Vipers, we see, I believe that it is Prestige that is on the Vipers, which is one of those team members that is often getting player of the game, one of the top 5 players of the game. So Vipers definitely, yeah, Prestige, and Kinetic is the other one I was thinking of. Like, these two, if they're on the same team, be very afraid.
In fact, I've heard rumor that Prestige is considering a future with Boise State's Valorant team.
Ah, so already has sights onwards and upwards.
Speaking of sights onwards and upwards, looks like we're seeing Lynx move strongly into mid here, considering a little bit of A position. The Viper's doing well to fight against that. Ellie holding down mid there with her crew as the
Spike
Vipers
down
rotate
A.
well around and take that spike down. Kinetic does take down Zushi, but is replied onto. Ooh, Milky's with lots of information, but not quite the gun to take care of it. Redskin gonna back up his team, moving into the back side of that. Jaguar sends off a good dart.
One enemy
Gets
remaining.
off a nice amount of information. Kills now has to move in after Prestige to try to take out the last player on the field. Milk does well with the help from Jaguar, who is now moving in for an easy defuse, and that's pistol round.
Nice start for the Vipers here. And overall, what man, I still don't know how these players are so good on the Frenzy every single time.
I totally hear that, especially from a distance. That's a scary, and I mean, why pass up the Classic, which has the alt fire? I just love the alt fire of the Classic, and it's, you know.
Things never work out well for me with the Frenzy. I've gotten used to every other weapon in the game. Every single one, even the Marshall, I can do work on.
The Marshall I'm okay with.
I like the Bucky more than I like the Frenzy. It's just it always escapes my grasp. And then just to see these players pull it out and get headshots from across the map with it,
Ridiculous.
Nice blind there. Prestige is gonna get, but really
Held back from the acid there, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, Kinetic with the dash ready. Decides to play in on that Neon. It's not quite going to be there, though. Has to back up. Wow, the aggression from the Neon. That's one thing we've really seen from Neon players. They like to get aggressive. They like to get up front, especially when they have that guaranteed one-on-one. Jaguar playing excellently with the Guardian. A beautiful off position there. Takes a little bit of effort to get up there, but it's worth it. Milk, quicker than Rezkin, and a little Marshall off is the one to take it. Moves right up into the site, and there's nobody there. But he can't get the spike. It's a rough position for him. They've got him closed in. Milk is at the goal, but without the baton. You know, the win cons change. The Vipers have no reason to push onto site here.
Yeah, the Vipers starting this up would go to 2-0, give them a good chance for a bonus here. And this is tough. I mean, he doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the time to even grab the spike, let alone plant it.
No, at this point, he's just looking to keep himself alive.
Looks like he's barely going to do that. Going to pick up a gun or two. Leave him with the Marshall and the Ghost. But this, you don't want to be taking that rose. You go.
That's a rough one to go down after so much just wasting time trying to stay alive.
Yeah, rough for the Lynx.
It's all right, they're moving in. That 2-0, you've got a bonus situation here. The Lynx now have their full buy even after those 2 deaths. This is their chance to try to, not quite anti-eco, but still flip the script a little bit.
All right, as we head into round 3, this is going to be very telling. Once the Lynx have the guns they want, will they be able to go up against the Vipers? Or will it just be a continued roll?
Lynx taking a dangerous call with this spike in pocket, you know, not picking up. I understand the advantage is that you can go down. Oh, wow, Milky's being very aggressive, using that hallway excellently. Has a chance to go behind and kind of mini flank on several people, but the dog comes out. Position's known, and all of a sudden that speed goes a little bit out of use. Viper's doing well to rotate. They're holding the site. They don't have much space, but it's difficult for the Lynx to plant here. Milk takes Jaguar down and then moves on to Kinetic. Doing excellent there, and from a distance, just proving that you don't need space to provide pressure. He's ready to take one more. Killed's taking down Milky's, and Prestige finally getting rid of Milk. Opening up that site a little bit. The Vipers owning it well, but there's still one here. Zushi holding on, and the spike is on the wrong side of the map. Now they've got to rotate, and now they have someone at their back. So they have to leave a flank guard here, number 5. Well, the Vipers keep rotating around to try to take care of what is happening on a site. And there's a wall here, so as soon as they make any noise, vision now goes up and the game slows down even further.
Wall's going to be thrown up there. A little bit of a bait out on the defuse. Not really going to work out as Nick quickly takes him out. Vipers just not having the help
Player
that they
standing.
need here, but they might still be able to do it. Oh, Ellie's just going for the lineups. Oh, already on the time advantage. Okay.
Clutch.
Excellently done. Well played by Ellie, bringing in their first point for the Lynx.
Now the Vipers should be up to their full purchases in this round, so should Yi getting back on track. No bonus to save for. So what are they buying? It's, Vandals, Phantoms as usual. I don't know if someone's still sticking on a Marshall. That's going to be Rezkin, who still wants to stick on that Marshall.
Sometimes that's pretty indicative of a
Quick feed,
mentality
quick
to the
trigger.
play style for the whole match. You know, if they are choosing a Marshall by round 3, that might not mean they've got a great use for it. It just means that they really want that op. Ooh, Rezkin, though, does do well looking down the hallway here, putting that pressure on Zushi.
Hey, if the Marshall works for him,
Sure
it works.
does. Yep, taking out Ellie, which was the last bastion of last round. Rezkin now looking at the eyes of 2 more. Not quite going to have it. Ooh. Almost got rid of him there. They do put a good concuss onto the Owl Drone, though. He's still putting more pressure down this hallway. But is that really the win con? The Lynx are still moving in at A gates. Oh, Milky's just trying to back up and get out of there. He's able to take one out, but Jaguar, that just happens when you play on 2-on-1. You can end up with a good trade. Prestige takes Nick out
Spike
for
down
being
A.
a little too greedy and moving in off of that spike. A good check around with the dog. Lynx low health and no
Last
way to
player
up health.
standing.
Kinetic taking out Milk makes Zushi's life a little bit more difficult as he's, again, far from the spike. And just sitting in cave, and there's so many Vipers like bees just sitting on top of it. Absolutely
He's going to
swarming
move
that
out to
spike.
mid. He's trying to make his way.
30 seconds left.
But he's now going to rotate toward the spike, and they know that he's coming. They just missed the sideline with him, Glitz does. Now they know that he's there.
Yeah, Clips with a good jump peek. Just trying to bait some shots. Works out. Zushi rotates back to the other side. And if he's quick enough, he could get to the spike. But there's no chance at a
10
plant, and the
seconds
Vipers are looking for a unified outro here. They're posted up watching that side gate, and Lynx don't want to play with it. That's another point for the Vipers, bringing it to 3-1.
Nice job all around. They're back on their win streak. We'll see now. Now would be the time I would believe that an op is in the general range.
Yep, within
So,
grasp.
Yeah, within grasp. So if he's been saving up all this time, if Prestige has just been waiting all this time, Rezkin has been waiting all this time to save up for the op, then now would be the time I expect to see him buy it. If not now, next round.
Lynx postured for aggressive pressure here. Jaguar looking to get a little information, doesn't find very much before his Owl Drone's shot down, but sometimes the absence of information is all you need. Looks like we get a little bit of an aggressive rotate from the Vipers here, sending one on a long flank. Hopefully it's quick enough to get something, but there is a little bit of a straggler walking around number 0 here on the Lynx side. Might be able to find somebody. Meanwhile, Spike is in pocket again. Lynx just love setting the Spike right down on the floor. Kills on Vipers looking to play a little bit closer up. Might find something from it. Milky's coming around the side now. They disperse from those B main hallways. Looks like they're going to walk off loud and maybe re-hit, but we're seeing a little bit of rotation out in mid here. That's Kinetic's playground, though. He comes up for a great off angle, and he has the potential here. Either of these sides are looking good for him. You can't hit Kinetic till he looks at you, till he sees you first, so Zushi doesn't have a great way onto him. And Kinetic takes Nick from afar. A little bit of communication would mean that they could have got Kinetic there. It doesn't look like he plays onto it, and Zushi takes a
30
Rezkin
seconds
quicker.
left.
Moves on to kills. It's not looking good for Lynx. Sorry for the Vipers. Ellie, escorted by Neon, is able to get in a free plant with no Vipers nearby
Spike
on the
planted.
B side. Have to rotate right through mid, and there's not a lot of pressure on mid. In fact, Prestige takes the only pressure down from Zushi. Now Viper and Neon just have to watch the side alone. They do take
Last
one down.
player standing.
2 left
One
coming in.
enemy
Milky's,
remaining.
though, that Dartsidious ult takes one out.
But
It's just not good enough on the distance, and Prestige
Nope.
takes him for an easy defuse.
all right, another win for the Vipers here. job thus far. Not going to be asking for anyone's financial support, the Vipers are, because they have so many credits.
That's a good spot.
Looking at a long 4-1, these rounds have been taking a lot longer than our last match. The Vipers and the Lynx, though they may start off aggressive, like to back off and really milk out those last 1 or 2 kills.
Rezkin actually wasn't saving up for an op. Just goes with the Vandal now.
Ooh, Kinetic makes a lot of eye contact, and although that that dash was ready, doesn't use it, and instead uses it for a quick rotate, trying to get around to a better angle. All of the Lynx absolutely own mid right now, making it easy to catch one off guard with the Hunter's Fury.
I mean, yeah, if you see them all bunched up there, then Hunter's Fury is probably going to be able to take out 1 or 2.
Orbital Strike, Hunter's Fury. Several ults, actually, are a good time to pull when you see everyone at once.
It's going to rotate slowly over to B. The Vipers already have one person watching over it. Jaguar turns away at the wrong moment there. I don't know what he was looking at.
Maybe he wasn't worried about that fall off from the Spectre. I mean, look, he only lost like 29 in shield. Wall going up has been critical to a lot of these attacks here. It's why Viper is such a must-pick. Absolutely dividing up those big spaces is important. Kinetic going to wait for that burst to go off. He never really does. Milky's takes one before going down. 4 defenders still on the field and just picking him away. An easy take for the Vipers. A 5-1 now.
Here.
Now this credit storm really is going to become a huge problem. We do see or heard there, Tour de Force is going to be brought out for the Lynx, so it's going to have to try to bail them out here before they go to a full eco round. In fact, they have just enough here. You can see the Vandals, the Phantoms, and the Tour de Force allows them technically for a full buy here. But it's just enough. If Vipers win this, then they've got a round or 2 in other kind of free wins that they can pick up.
I love those ult full buys, which are always good as long as you don't have a any suppression out there.
Yeah.
So this could be looking at an off next round. Rezkin moving right around, gets great contact onto one of them, decides to play from a different angle. So much vision denial up there. Does take him out. Zushi to reply onto Jaguar. It's looking like a little bit of a pinch here as 2 of the Vipers are moving around, but it'll all be for none if Kinetic just takes him out all at once. Zushi finally taking out Prestige, getting some use out of the Tour de Force there. A 3v3 now, and the Lynx are in the middle of it. You've got to make sure they watch that cave there. Looks like they did a good job doing so, with the Tour de Force watching their back. Kind of forces their last player to rotate around, looking for some help, but it's not there. They took Kinetic. Kinetic was too far in. Milk gets contact on the blitz. He's got to play it back into it, and on second bullet, takes him down. That's an important point for the Lynx.
Yeah, that was very important there, considering it now means that an op can be bought more confidently now that you're not leaving the other team high and dry. Zushi can finally get the op he was wanting, without everyone else just having to settle for classics.
If that's what he's looking for. If he feels like he got enough utility off the Tour de Force last round.
And I would definitely say so.
Looks like the Lynx were comfortable in that A push and want to do it again.
He
the
does
Vipers,
go for it. He's
good to see.
Maybe Prestige can pull off just a huge upset before that op is even used. So much is going over A. It is just sliced and diced in terms of the sidelines.
People are just walking all over each other.
Now, unfortunately, Zushi, before that op can even be used, he does get one, and Melky's with a double there. Now it's going to be bringing out the ult.
1 enemy remaining.
Yep, you've got to know that you're in a good position before you pull that dog out. Wow, killed. Replies to Milky's running amok very quickly. Milk just holding down the site well. A little bit of Tour de Force fire to keep people at bay. Zushi. Sorry, that's the off. And there it goes. Milk taking out kills. Gives the Lynx their 3rd point. I'm sure they'll be pushing onto A again.
Yeah, ever since the op has been brought into the equation, the Lynx are performing a lot better here. But also just kudos to Melky there for turning it around. It looked for sure here like the Vipers were going to win that. They were going 4-3, but 5-3, excuse me. But then all of a sudden that double from Melky's and the one op shot from Zushi, all of a sudden the Lynx are in the lead.
Milky's coming a little bit slow with the spike there. They almost left it in the caves. Looks like they're taking a little bit onto mid, and sure enough, the Vipers read this as another A push, considering that any noise in A after 2 wins in the A hallways. It would be real helpful to get another one. But instead, they decide to put the wall up onto B long, calling out for a little bit of rotation from the Vipers. They're considering a deep flank while still holding one in a convenient position on A, and leaving one in the back, number 5. So I like the Vipers' hold on the situation. You can see they've kind of got the Lynx corralled into a space.
Here.
The Lynx looking to fight back, do scare Prestige off the point. They've dropped their spike a ways away, though. Taking care of Kinetic is important, too, so now they can do that. They can leave the spike there, leave their backs open, focus on getting into the B point here. That wall has fallen. It was up for a while, and they didn't really use it. New wall goes up. They have to return to get the spike and then walk it back up into B. And they, although they own a lot of B here. Oh, there's one left. Wow. Briskin actually takes one down. Does give away his position though and has to move up Brisk with the headhunter. Gets a little bit too much contact and Milk takes him down for his 3rd kill and a 4th point. Lynx are really walking back up.
Yeah, a real nice recovery for them.
Need a drop.
Overall, in terms of purchases, I do see an op be brought out for the Vipers now. So now we will finally kind of have parity in terms of both of the snipers being able to go up against each other. So that makes it all the more crucial around for the Vipers to not lose here after they've spent that many credits.
Lynx postured again well into A. Able to avoid a good little search there. Viper's still confident in their A hold. A little bit of play in the tube, necessary as always. And there goes that op battle. An op on the floor.
Spike down.
Jaguar
A.
taking his 2 and sending out the bird to see so much. Guild's deciding to pop the ult right at the pinch point there. They do actually wedge then an ult in between the spike and the offenders. Great utility there. The Lynx with only 2 left are looking at a real rough start here. May even just play off these last 45 seconds.
8-4 would still be very nice for the Vipers.
Yep, sure enough, nice and slow.
Yeah, I mean, once you have control of that spike,
it's hard.
30 seconds left.
Lynx still trying to just get to the backside here. Milk thinks he might have a chance to at least get some kills, but 30 seconds,
and,
that's
and
a speed
Zushi
run.
isn't even thinking about it. He's like, I want to keep what I have.
True. Milk does take 2 down. Ridiculous, bringing it to a 2-2.
But he just still doesn't have the time to pick it up.
And it'd be nice if Zushi was on site to assist that, but it's not quite there. Decides to come rolling in at the last second here with his op, and he loses it. Beyond tragic. Another op battle on wrong.
I mean, the more important thing is that the op is going to be dropped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Vipers with this much
I would
ahead.
have not thought at all that Zushi would have recontested there.
No,
it seemed like
not.
he was just going clear off to be, I've got an op in my hands, I'm not going to risk that.
And at that point, you shouldn't have risked it. I think it's all or none. But Kinetic was making so many waves over on that side.
Now Kinetic.
Or Milk, yeah.
In we go. That works.
Now Rezkin. Looks like he's probably gonna be. Oh no, he doesn't. He's just gonna be relying on his headhunter here.
You want to play? Ooh. Let's play.
Not quite there. Does get the TP out. Milk providing lots of pressure onto that tube. And the owl drones pass each other.
Because everyone knows where everyone is now. Got a snake bite there, just trying to predict where they are. Gonna watch the flanks. Because it looks like Lynx are thinking of rotating back over toward mid now.
A good call to rotate out to B even, considering the Viper's positioning here. But there's not a whole lot. The Vipers do rotate, so maybe the Lynx can move back in on the site. It looks like they've spread way out, and the spike is still postured towards A. They have a wall up if they need it. Milk decides to play aggressive without an initiator, hoping on just this wall to be his grace. He's got to dry peek most of the entry points, though, for a defensive hit onto this site. And there he goes because of it. Milk takes him down.
One enemy remaining.
Nick taking out Prestige.
Toxin screen down.
Milk finding one more before he loses Nick to Kills. Kills the last one on the map. He's got to rotate over and take care of the 3 people,
Poison
including an
orb
op.
emitting. Erased.
Ooh,
Nice
but they were
shot
guarding
back.
the wrong wall, yeah. Does take one out.
Toxin
Now they know
screen
where he's
down.
at.
Poison orb emitting.
It's a tough one, but he's still got time to defuse if he's quick. They decide to stay way off the map to really bide his time. He's got no chance now. Decides to head back out for maybe an outro, maybe just a save.
Well, we've almost completely tied it up. Only 1 round left before halftime.
Last round in the half.
Last chance for the Lynx to kind of prove themselves here, that they can stand toe-to-toe with the Vipers. They have a lot of very talented individual players, and the coaches really want to see how the team can come together as a group for this event. So we'll just see. It's all that thing, you know, we have some players like we saw for the Scorpions, you know, players that are used to playing with each other, but then there are other teams that are like a lot of really high-ranked players, but they haven't played a lot together.
Lynx holding good position here. Hopefully they're able to play up onto the Vipers. Looks like they're going to try to swarm in Neon, taking a very aggressive, but he goes down to Jaguar. Ellie is able to respond, though, but that's enough noise for the Vipers to start rotating in. They do have one up higher position. They've got to be careful of this wall. Milk hears him running right underneath, and Kills making that entry onto Ellie, who's the last one left guarding the spike. The rest of the Lynx are on the other side, looking for a very post-plant scenario. Prestige getting out a little bit of health amidst all of this acid that coming from both of the Vipers teams. All that vision denial goes down, and there's only one cloud burst on the scene. Prestige, ooh, with the fake out bird, just trying to get away from the spike. It's not
Last
looking good.
player
Kinetic,
standing.
looking for the defuse, gets halfway before the Hunter's Fury comes out. And Lynx get to secure their point.
All right,
Switching
we
sides.
basically reset this now.
Yep, an even half.
So now it's basically a first to 7 instead of first to 13,
One way to think about it.
which actually is a mode that I actually hope will be implemented at some time.
So you can practice only your attacker defense.
No, it's still half times at 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just when you want to get one in
Because-
before work.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That
You
makes
know,
sense.
I mean, look, the last round went an hour. It was just like exactly an hour that last round, and so, if we have first to 13
Get
with
some
12
out of
being the
here.
halftime mark, then first to 7 with 6 being the halftime mark. Just maybe speed up the ultimate charge like you do in Spike Rush, and there you go. I mean, sometimes I just want a bite of Valorant, not a whole buffet.
Milky's gets aggressive with the shorty and doesn't very pay off. In fact, kind of creates a vacuum as they know that one of the defenders stationed on that site goes absolutely
Spike
down, so
planted.
the Vipers start pushing right up into it. A little bit on low health. Zushi takes one. A cheeky pick from the back. Looking to play up one more. Rizkin knows it's there and catches him. Oh. Those headhunter plays are just so good. A good molly there, kind of forcing them to either walk through or stand back. Catches 2 of the attacking side in the cave. Now, you've got all this space. All the Vipers are caved up. There's only one person you got to deal with. They can't quite get the defuse, though. Zushi takes out Kinetic. Prestige looking to just make some more noise, keep people off the spike now. Already into the double beat, and I don't think they made the half. That's another round. And the Vipers take their 7th point, or their first point in the half.
They won the last 2 pistol rounds as well. So they can drive themselves up to 8-6 if history repeats itself.
If history repeats itself, we might end up with double overtime.
Well,
here.
let's not say that. As a lot of historians, actually, when you ask them about the phrase, does history repeat itself? Yeah, it doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So hopefully we see that instead of
another 6-6. Milk, hoping that Neon has some shields to spare. Oh, another aggressive defense. Milky said this time I'm going to have somebody else with the shorty to help.
I'm out of here.
And
see if it works out.
He gets stunned and
gets concussed and then goes down. But it's a huge bait and switch, and he takes the collateral that might be worth it. A little bit aggressive on the on after and goes down. A 2v2 might be worth it for an attack that now is looking at an empty site to cruise right on in for.
Teleport's ready.
3 people behind him, and they don't know that. Zushi, Nick moving on smooth to try to catch him off guard here. Do let a little bit of entry utility. Lets their location go live. So Kills is able to take out Zushi. Now again, the Vipers and the Lynx just kind of get all over each other. The positioning is very loose.
1 enemy remaining.
He's able to take
Last
Redskin down.
player standing.
Screen down.
1 man on either team left. and Jaguar's the one that comes out
That's
on
an
top.
aggressive
Recognition is
purchase,
nice.
the Vandal, and
Indeed. It
comes
pays
in
off.
clutch for
Yeah.
him there. Yeah, that'll get you some grief if you do it in solo queue, doing a Vandal on round 2.
Yeah, from your own team.
He's throwing.
Throwing.
Everyone hit forfeit.
The round 7 FF. It's an 8-6 now. Vipers doing well to take both of those pistol rounds like we thought they might, but we know the Lynx can really shift things up when ops hit the table. Wow, look at this aggressive left-right stance as the Vipers go all in on a site that's not watched at all. As that space creates an absolute vacuum when they hear this entry utility going live. Lynx have got to shift back over. Now they're all trying to fight in past this wall, and there's already an ult up. Milky's taking one down. It is not looking great for the Lynx here. They've got to have a strong post-plant game. But Milky's may be that strong post-plant game. Absolutely going crazy, looking for his 4th kill here. Kills, denies him the ace, but he's still hungry. Goes in for the defuse, and 1 left from a distance is taken care of. What an absolute in-pour from the Lynx. I mean, Vipers did well to take that site, but they just didn't post hard enough.
I mean, it's nice for them.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that Vipers were obviously saving a lot of their weapons for the bonus. So now we're going to see this is the true test here, you know. Lynx should have won that last one if Vipers were all saving for bonus.
Yeah, 4th and 5th rounds are our first all-gun rounds. Let's see how the pacing changes.
Or I can see pretty standard buys from everybody. Vandals, Phantoms.
Vipers looking to spearhead right through the center.
Revealing area.
And it's
Oh, almost. I thought that was going to get at least 1 or 2.
almost a well-timed info grab there. Looks like they're going to spice right in on the side here. Lynx getting a little bit greedy with their hold. One's going to come back out of cave here. Milk, maybe a good timing, maybe a compromising position. We'll see. Kills takes one before going down to Zushi. Zushi goes down to Kinetic. The trades are just so back and forth as the Vipers and Lynx are okay
1
playing all
enemy
over
remaining.
each other. Milk
Last
finds
player
their
standing.
2 from those caves, but goes down. Now Jaguar able to sprint from the site with the spike. Gets the easiest plant of his life here.
Spike is planted. The good news for the Vipers here is he's got this Hunter's Fury, so he can just play it very safe on the post plant.
Indeed he can.
And that's what he's going to do.
Ooh, though he hears a little bit of an audio cue and might chase up after it. It's better to take the guns and get the Hunter's Fury for later. Nick really using all of his utility just to kind of scan the site here efficiently. Maybe not quickly enough, though. Jaguar's right there, and he's got the spike ping, decides to play way off it. This is definitely a Hunter's Fury pull, but Nick can read the scoreboard. Gets in there, clicks quickly, and wastes the Hunter's Fury. Goes down right in the middle of it for a defuse, but Jaguar's already lined up. Oh, he's quick enough, though. Oh,
No,
so
no,
close.
still, yeah, it was still just timed out well enough for the post plan for Vipers to win that.
A 9-7 now, and a lot more other ults on the table.
Ooh, there's a problem, though. They gotta win Kinetic, the Vipers, but they don't have enough for another full buy. Neither team does, so they're having to settle for some small shields here and there.
Oof. Those force buys are rough. The 9-7 here, Vipers looking to push up in the double digits. It's kind of the second big benchmark as the game changes feel a little bit.
Although still room for an op, someone.
Yeah. Ooh, that dog is a rough one for Milk. Was in a great position, but goes down fast to Kinetic. Zushi doesn't want to let anyone know he's got the op. He'd rather give up his position and take care of the line with a classic, but now they're absolutely hounding him as they own site, and he's the last one to chase out. They sure do. They've got him all the way back to CT, and Kinetic able to take out Ellie, really holding the space excellently. So Kills takes one more, and that last person, Zushi, they chased off site earlier, is the only one left to re-enter. He's going to do it from the top, but there's already one waiting for him. Got a good bait and switch setup with Kinetic if possible. And there it is. Didn't even need it. Kinetic takes his 4th kill for the round on Zushi, putting Vipers
And they can
to
pick up
digits.
Zushi's op as well.
Ooh, they can. That's a rough one.
So now the RGB light show has reason to celebrate.
Lynx pulling out the tour de force. Got some other ultimates on the table.
Also a Marshall bought by Nick, which would be the first time I think we've seen some sniping from him.
Yeah.
But the others are having to settle for frenzies here, so they're going to save up so that they can buy for the next round and not make them have 12.
Ooh, wow. That frenzy and slow time almost not deserved. Ellie takes one, followed up by Milky's, who quickly goes down. Nick and Ellie fine, and then traded. Wow, what a gun fest. It's like everybody just decides to dry peek all at once.
Yeah, I mean, even though they're frenzies, I mean, you still don't want to be dry peeking here.
And it's a thrifty and quick
goodness.
round from the Lynx. Absolutely ridiculous. 10-8 now with a push from the Lynx trying to prevent the Vipers getting into this final standoff position.
It's one of those things I just think they probably got a little bit too confident in having such a gun advantage that last round there and probably just pushed through that choke much more recklessly than they should have.
You want to play? Let's play.
Toxins going up.
Well, maybe this tour de force can kind of change the state of play here. Although Mel, my goodness, is such a threat. Look at this.
Unbelievable.
Okay, just an ace like it was nothing.
I mean, the Vipers were showing that they were full committing a little bit too quickly onto the site here, so I was expecting all the Lynx to move in quick enough to each get a bite of the action, but Milk just wanted every piece of it. Really just stares right down the line and takes them on one at a time.
Yeah, that actually, if you look in the chat there, that just got a nice from Reskin, the opposing team. It was just so clean and well done that even the other team has to commend you.
Gotta give it to him.
Get out of my way.
Lynx has had their G Fuel and they're ready to go. It's up to a 10-9. They're pushing back strong. Kinetic doesn't want to give it up, though he does give up a bit of his location to get that peek. Nick now sending the Owl Drone out from a comfortable position. Does see and even tag Kinetic. We've already got the ult down in the choke point.
I mean, someone needs to shut down Melk right now.
Prestige finally sends him home. It's not a good idea to tap at the front of B from the Vipers. There's already 2 people in that pit. Going to start sending him out. They've already owned the spite here. Already owned the site there at A. Looking for an easy plant. There it goes. Only 2 more from the Lynx. Forced to come in through mid. Jaguar right in their place. Takes one down and even moves right onto the second, but he has to go in for the reload.
Oh my
Ellie
goodness.
takes him out narrowly. There we go.
Toxins going up.
Good wall. Moves in a little bit quick, but it does go up. Sees one, able to move off of this flash. They're already confident in this and have started backing up. Still pushing in for some kind of defuse. Maybe just 1 or 2 more kills. Sends the wall down. Ooh. Rezkin doing excellent at just wasting time. And that's another good round.
Oh, from afar with the classic is going to be the final one.
Beautifully played. Yeah, Rezkin was playing dirty there. Knew the win con. Just peeks a little bit, shoots once or twice. Not even at him. Just wasting time.
Well, even though it's still been pretty competitive, now we get to the crucial round where Lynx can set it up, head to 12 points, claim this round.
Yeah, this is a little rough. Lynx do have to take 4 in a row if they want to avoid any kind of overtime. The Vipers, though, just need these 2, or at least 1, to put themselves in overtime position. They don't like walking right into B main. They're considering it. Going to send in their control initiator first. Milky's ready to fight them for it. Decides to threaten jumping right in. Not quite the aggression. Ooh. All that utility coming in at once, and they decide to just trust it. They jump right in before the utility really sets and end up going a few down. Kilds gets in for an easy plant, and they've already set the Vipers pit up. The Vipers really want to keep this. If they can push all in on this round, they're in a great position.
Standing ahead.
Then they've got 2 or 3 easy rounds to find 1 more point. Nick sends the Owl right in. Gets a little bit of information, is able to tag one for some time, decides to play in after it. He knows where the spike is at, but they catch him from the side. There's only 1 man left.
Oh, there you go. All right, match point for the Vipers, and pretty good position for them, I would say. They've got
Match point.
3 rounds to pull it out. One of those rounds you would... Well, the Lynx are going to have to... Definitely have to save up for full buys here. No, actually. Nick is going to be stuck on that Marshall instead. And Ellie is forced to buy half shields instead of full shields, as well as Zushi, so cracks in the armor of the Lynx and an opportunity for the Vipers. Can the Vipers claim victory?
They've got a great position here to catch the side. They do use a little bit of initiation, though. Kilds and Kinetic each taking their 1, moving cleanly on into the round here. Lynx have got to send 1 person in, but they left 2 on B. Finally, that rotation's coming out, and they're sprinting across mid. Knives out, I'm sure. Nick finally taking 1 onto Rezkin, looking at a 3-4 now, but the spike is already down. The time is clicking. They've got the utility up to start moving in, but Prestige absolutely shuts it down. Hunter Fury took from the back. It's a rough. And there it is. Vipers closing it up at a 13-9.
Congrats for the Vipers. They won the first round here, and I think we got a very exciting few weeks of Summer Rumbles ahead of us here, with all 4 teams showing a lot of promise. So great job there. I can't wait to see more. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you should join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Well, Greg, do you have any nominations for the ICCU Player of the Game?
I'd love to give it to Milk.
You know what? I'll go there right with you. I mean, There were so many rounds that I thought were completely over, and then Melk just came in with at least a double, sometimes a triple, just turn everything around.
Let's see who it goes to. It's going to be hidden.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can see that. I also like that we have pictures now to showcase off the individual talent. Player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve a financial success. Hidden is going to be your ICCU player of the game. That was beautifully placed flash there.
Hidden, who used to play for Esports Tower Vipers, now just providing so much utility to the Barracudas tonight. Really, their flashes got a lot of potential off of them, and he did well several times.
Yeah, great job by him. Overall, made the Barracudas one of the teams that won there. A very clutch win for him right there. So Barracudas can join the Vipers as the two teams that won today. Do you have any final thoughts, Greg?
Not really. Follow Doc's keys to the game. Isolate angles. Know your win con. You know, get in there to win rounds, not kill people.
Well, what a great way to kick off our Esports Tower Summer Invitational with both games featuring some fantastic plays from both teams. The teams will have the next few weeks to get used to playing together and continue on in the round-robin stages, so make sure you join us Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Round 2 of the Esports Tower Valorant Summer Series. We'll close out to you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Thank you for watching and enjoy your top 5 plays.
Atlas now putting it down. He's seen, but he's too far away. He takes one through the wall. Atlas is seen again. His flash is going to be absolutely ignored with a good 180E with the dash ready. Decides to push in, takes one, looking to double it up. He has the defense in back, though, so he can play a nice bait and switch and then move in for an easy defuse. Hoping that Neon has some shields to spare. Oh, another aggressive defense. Milky said this time I'm going to have somebody else with the shorty to help.
And
see if it works out.
He gets stunned and
gets concussed and then goes down. But it's a huge bait and switch, and he takes the collateral that might be worth it. Shift back over. Now they're all trying to fight in past this wall, and there's already an ult up. Milky's taking one down. It is not looking great for the Lynx here. They've got to have a strong post-lane game. But Milky's may be that strong post-lane game. Absolutely going crazy, looking for his 4th kill here. Killed. Have one person back in that pretty well. Delete. Making the first move in with the dog. Ooh, kind of turns us back to the dog using the Cloudburst to front. It works well for a little bit, but then he goes down to Tracker. Arctic backs it up, and then Tracker goes down to Hidden, and the trades are coming out. It is a quick game so far. Ooh, Atlas plays close and dirty. And Atlas
early than they should have.
You want to play? Let's play.
Toxins going up.
Well, maybe the Tour de Force can kind of change the state of play here. Although Mel, my goodness, such a threat. Look at this.
Unbelievable.
Okay, just an ace like it.